Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Big Natural Talk Show podcast show. Today I'm sitting here with Rob Stant.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I love your dogs.
Yeah, they love you too.
They're cute.
I haven't seen you for a while.
I haven't seen you for a while either, and I can't see you at all right now because your dog's in the way.
I know.
There you are. Hey,
yeah,
what's up?
There you are. I think last time I saw you was like the first time I met you in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really like your comedy. I think you're a very talented comedian.
Oh, thanks.
I had fun getting to see you last night at Creek, or the night before at Creek. And I just think you know what you're doing.
Oh, thanks.
And you inspire me a lot because you talk a lot about like just your life.
We're just doing dick jokes. You're like, that's really inspiring.
No, like just your cadence and like the way you can tell a story. And I admire that because I'm still very much just like, I don't know, like quick little jokes and not very like, I'm not very natural on stage. Like I'm very like, I'm scared of pauses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
Well, one of the best pieces of advice that like I've ever heard from any comedian is just get comfortable with silence.
Yeah.
Like I think Mark Normand, I think, was the one who said it. He was like, just if a joke doesn't land or whatever, just sit in it. Just get used to like silence because it will help you once you're like. Because I used to do a lot of filler words, like when a joke wouldn't work or whatever, I would just like start rambling and be like, yeah, so that's weird. Anyway, just stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you just sit in it,
yeah.
it's like, all right,
yeah.
well, but yeah, I mean, I still do like short jokes. I'll do like story jokes and just like kind of like quick punches or whatever.
You do. You're right. It's like very like intricate the way you do it. But
I feel like every comedian when they start out, at least a lot of them are kind of like almost like mimicking another comic style because they don't really know like where to go with it.
Yeah.
I was doing Jeselnik like very early on in my I'd be like just a very shitty version of Jeselnik. I'd be like, yeah, so I was having sex the other day, and then and then the body kept getting colder, and I was like, oh, this is a dead person. Just like shitty.
Yeah.
Not even good.
But that's just kind of what everyone does, it seems, right? Like at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like everyone's inspired by somebody, and then you kind of find your style as you keep doing it. Do you remember the first time you ever did an open mic?
Yeah, well, the first time I ever did an open mic, I don't count it as when I started. It was just like me and my buddy were like, yeah, let's go. Like I always wanted to try it.
Okay.
I think I was like maybe like 20. I'm 30 now. But I
Wow.
went to this place. I just Googled open mics near me. And it was like before like I knew about like any of the Facebook groups that like the open mic scene in Philly has now. But there was this place called the R Lounge in Wilmington, Delaware. And it stood for Rebel at the time, which I didn't know.
Okay.
And I got there. Me and my buddy Tyler, who I'm still close friends with, he doesn't do stand-up. But we tried an open mic, and it was just like an all-black bar.
Wow.
So it was just like it was just like we were the only white guys there. And they were like, you guys here for comedy? And we were like, yeah. And then every comic who went up saw us in the front row, and they just roasted us the entire time. And then we had to go up and be like, yeah, so anyway, just making shitty jokes. I think I did a joke about the Conjuring just came out in theaters, and I tried to make like a joke about that movie and just bombed, for like 5 minutes. And then I didn't do stand-up again for like 3 years. And then that's when I actually like did a mic, and then I was like, okay, I'll do it again. And I just actually kept doing it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting. So did you know you wanted to do comedy like a while before you tried it?
Yeah, I always wanted to do it when I was a kid. Me and my dad, I had a notebook. Like anytime my dad said something funny or I said something funny, like I didn't really know what jokes were. I just thought, oh, that's funny. I'll write it down. And like I had a notebook of just like just dumb shit. I mean, I was like 13. I think my dad said like something like, what do you get when you mix Gatorade and 7-Up? And I was like, what? And he was like, Gator Up. And I was like, that's genius. And I wrote it down.
Gosh.
But just I had a notebook full of just like dumb shit like that. Like my dad said, he said like he'd say just like dad jokes like why would I watch Fantastic Four? I haven't seen the first 3. And I'm like, God, you're so smart. Just writing this shit down. And then I would try to write. I remember the first joke I wrote when I was like actual joke when I was like I don't know 14. I actually tried at my first when I was started doing stand up. I wrote a joke. It was like and I can never get it to work, and I still think it's funny.
Yeah.
But I was like, the whole joke is like I saw a commercial where this guy proposed to his girlfriend on an airplane, and it's like, where are you going that's so bad you have to propose on the way there? See, it's
Oh
not
my
funny,
gosh.
but
Yeah.
I think it's funny, and I tried to do this whole thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to Paris, Texas, not Paris, France. It was just really shitty, and I kept doing that joke for way too long. And I was like, it's just I got to find the right crowd. They'll love it.
Yeah.
I used to do a joke about I wrote a joke about being scared of bumblebees that I still do.
I love that
And
one.
that was one of my earliest jokes, but I love it. It
I
just,
love it. I saw it the other night.
sometimes
and I loved
it has like a 30% success rate, but when it works, it works.
It's also like the way you run off.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
so funny. I love it.
I do it. Yeah, I just do an impression of a bee being scared of me, and it's just so stupid.
It's so good though. I love it. That's really interesting though that you knew from a very young age that you wanted to do it, or you were kind of like you were aware. Like it sounds like your dad was funny. So
Yeah.
you grew up with a funny dad.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys like watch stand up?
Yeah, I remember like my dad used to love watching Seinfeld, like the show.
Okay.
I remember
My dad too.
my first time learning what stand up was. Jerry Seinfeld was on, like, they start every episode with him doing stand up, and I was like, "What's he doing?" And he was like, "Oh, he's like a comedian," and I was like, "Oh," and that's kind of like when I first like, "Oh, okay, this is what stand up is." And then my parents got me like on my 13th birthday, they got me like an on demand like cable box, like before Netflix and Hulu and all that shit. It was all like Comcast, like you could watch. I remember being amazed, like I can watch what I want when I want, and there's no commercials. This is crazy. And I would just watch the Comedy Central had its own thing, so I would just watch like all of Nick Swartzen stuff, all of Dane
Love
Cook's
him.
stuff. Those two guys, I was like, oh, like they made it look so easy. It's just like, oh, they're going on stage, they're just telling stories. Like I want it and then you do your first ever open mic, and you're like, you expect. Like, my first ever open mic, I expected it to be like a show where it's like, okay, people come to these and you tell jokes. And then it's like the host and like the bartender, and you go up at 1 a.m. and it's just horrible. And and I was just like, this isn't what comedy is. I still think about when I first started stand up, and I was like, I must have been a lunatic. Why didn't I quit? Like, I still think about that. I'm like, why? Like, I don't know. It's so weird to be like, go up at 1 a.m. every night of the week and just bomb and be like, no, I'm gonna keep doing this.
Yeah, I get that because I mostly do open mics. Like I'm still very new, and even when I bomb at open mics, I still like doing it. So
It's great.
I just like getting the kind of like reps, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting more comfortable with silence.
Yeah,
But it did hurt my feelings for.
It's once you get comfortable with silence, it makes bombing way not easier, but
You're like desensitized a little maybe when
yeah.
it's an open mic. I'm sure it's harder when you have like a crowd, like or at a real show.
I did a show in Virginia like 2 weeks ago. I drove 6 hours. It paid really well, which was nice, but
Good.
there was nobody there. Like I had a guarantee, so I didn't have to worry about like a door split or whatever. The staff was like super super nice and everything, and they were like apologizing because they also didn't promote it very well, and they gave me the ticket link like a week before the show, so I can really promote it. But I showed up, and there was literally nobody there. Like I was doing stand up to the staff and to my friends who opened for me. And they set up like 100 like chairs, and I was like, "Oh, awesome! How many tickets did you sell?" And they were like 0, and I was like, "So would you just think 100 people are gonna walk in?" Like, I don't know. It was so strange, but yeah, that was day and night where like I did that and just silence for 45 minutes because you're getting paid to do it, so you have to do it,
and you get to run your set, I guess.
Yeah, I did 45 minutes of just absolutely nothing, jokes that I've been doing that I've tested on the road that I know work.
Yeah.
And just absolutely nothing. And then I came here and did Creek, and it was the exact opposite. So it's just I have so many like day and night things where it's like, this sucks, this is awesome, this sucks, this is awesome, and it's always something.
And you never know what it's gonna be, I guess, until you kind of get there.
Do you like produce your own like comedy show in Austin? Do you have like a showcase or anything?
No, I don't do anything yet.
That's what I always tell like comics in Philly who are starting out. I'm like, produce your own show, because then you can book other comics on it, and then it's also an opportunity for you to do time in front of a real audience.
That's so smart.
Because you book it, so you can just put yourself in the best spot. You can like have somebody host, go up front, and then you go up like third or fourth, and you can do like 10 minutes of new shit. It doesn't matter. You're the booker. You're not there to impress anybody.
Wow.
That's what I always tell comics. Like, start your own show, and then a lot of times, you book a comic, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, she booked me on this," so you kind of like trade spots.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for the advice. I think I could do that if I wasn't hosting because I'm scared to host. I've never hosted.
Yeah, hosting sucks.
Yeah.
I still do it on certain shows, but it's just you're in the worst spot. It's the hardest fucking spot.
And some people are really good. Like my producer, I feel like is good at it. He's very social, and I'm very introverted. And I feel like you have to probably be more social to host. I don't know.
Yeah, my buddy Jim, he's a great host. He goes on stage and he's just loud as fuck and just
Jim Gillespie.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, he's great too.
My podcast buddy, listen to Two in the Stink. Quick plug.
I miss him. I didn't get to see him when he was here because we were moving and like we weren't actually in here yet. But I would love to see him again if he's ever in town.
Yeah, he's great. He goes up. He's got high energy. His crowd work's amazing.
Yeah.
He gets the crowd like hot. He's like one of the best hosts in Philly, I think.
Yeah, he's incredible. It was really cool getting to see like all of you guys go up one after another, and because I feel like you all have different styles, but I don't know, your vibe all matches somehow. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh yeah,
because you're friends.
Yeah, we're good. It's good energy. Anytime me and Jim are on a show, we just kind of feed off each other, I guess.
Yeah. Crowd work is something that do you feel like people are either good at it or it's like it's a skill that some people learn? It's hard at first, maybe for some.
Yeah, I do a little bit of crowd work, not really. I'll do it if I'm doing 45, just because it just helps fill time. If you do like 5 minutes of crowd work, now you only need 40 minutes of jokes.
Yeah.
But like I do a lot of like crowd work where like I'll start with a topic. And then if I don't like, it's like, who here's married? And then I'll like try to talk to somebody about it. And if I can't get a joke, I'll be like, oh, okay, so anyway, and then I'll go into my jokes about marriage. So sometimes it just fails and you have to acknowledge it and move on.
Yeah.
Like I think last night at Creek, I tried doing some crowd work and it just wasn't working. And I was just like, well, they're not all going to be funny. And then that got a laugh. So I feel like as long as you acknowledge it and you're honest with the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not like a very good crowd work comic. But it is fun to dabble in it every once in a while.
Yeah, it makes sense to like if you have a joke you're about to talk about the subject, you can just like do a little bit, but you already have something planned.
Yeah, it's also a good way to post like content on social media without like burning a joke.
Yeah.
Because it's like I when I was at Creek this weekend, I tried to do it was probably like 80% jokes that I haven't posted on my social media. Because every time I post a joke, even if I'm on stage and like I know like nobody in the audience like has seen my shit online, I'm still in my head like there's one person in the crowd who knows this bit and it's not as fun. It's more fun for me when I'm telling a joke and I know nobody has seen it.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
But also every time I post a crowd work clip online, it never does as well as my jokes. I think just because like Instagram and TikTok is just with stand-up right now, it's just so oversaturated with crowd work. I feel like
really,
I feel like anytime like a clip starts with "What do you do for work?" I feel like people just scroll.
Really, makes sense.
At least I do. I mean, I don't like watching crowd work clips. I like watching like actual jokes and stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like I don't think I've ever I don't really do crowd work that much. Sometimes I do, and I usually bomb at it. I'm usually pretty bad, so
it's hard.
I think
it's really fucking hard. But when you every once in a while when you strike lightning, it's the best feeling when they say something like when somebody says like a ridiculous thing they do for work. Like I think Friday night at Creek, I was like, "What do you do?" And this lady was like, "I recruit fishermen." And I was like, "What are you, a video game character?" And then that did well, and then we riffed back and forth for a minute. So when it works, it's so much fun because it's just like you feel like, oh, I'm a real comic. I'm doing stuff off the top. This isn't planned. And then you do it another night and you're like, what do you do for work? And like, I'm in sales. And you're like, oh, what are you, fucking drug dealer? And they're like, what? And I'm like, okay, never mind. Just the worst. Sometimes I'll just do the worst crowd work. It's just so bad. And then I have to acknowledge it. I'm like, yeah, so anyway, that sucked.
I like that though, like just acknowledging it because I don't always do that. Sometimes I'll just like bomb and I'm like,
when a joke bombs, I literally go to my notes and I go next joke, and then that gets a laugh. And it's just whatever.
Yeah,
I
like that.
They know you're fucking around as long as you're having fun. If you're having fun, they're having fun. That's all it is. You just have to, And it's like when I'm headlining and I know that there's at least a percentage of the crowd who came there to see me specifically, it feels like there's less pressure because they kind of give you more wiggle room. They're just excited to see you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I did want to ask you about like what your childhood was like a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you had a joke I really liked a lot. I don't want to say it because I don't want to burn it.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Just like involving trampoline.
Oh yeah,
And then
my
the
mom.
mom.
Yeah, my mom was. It's true. My mom wouldn't let me jump on trampolines because she was scared I'd break my neck and like fall off and become paralyzed. And I would literally go to birthday parties and kids would be jumping on the trampolines, and the mom would be like, "You gonna play?" And I'm like, "No, I'm gonna. If I do, I'll fall off and I'll break my neck and I'll become paralyzed. And I'll never be able to walk again." And the punchline is like, this mom must have thought I could see the future, because then she's just like, "Okay, everybody off the fucking trampoline right now."
I
and then I
liked
do,
that.
and then I do. This little lesbian just had a premonition, which when I when I have my hair down, calling myself a lesbian is just such a cheap pop, but it works, so whatever. It's hack. I don't
love it.
care. Make the audience laugh. That's all that matters.
No, it was funny, and I could honestly, I was like, I could see myself being that mom.
Oh
When you
yeah.
said that, and you were like, she was probably thinking this. I was like, that would have been me. Like,
Yeah, it's just a crazy thing. But then the other thing is, yeah, I wasn't allowed to jump on trampolines, but I was allowed to play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on PlayStation 2. Just like my mom, like just the most violent game you can play in middle school. But I can't jump on a fucking trampoline. Like, yeah.
So funny.
My mom was so overprotective of me when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't allowed to like really leave my street. But she made sure I had everything I fucking wanted that could fit in my room. So I had like an Xbox, a PlayStation. I had a cable box, so I watched like stand up every night. But I just I had everything. As like the deal was, be a good kid, and you can do whatever.
That's great.
Yeah, and then I think I was a good kid, and then I started smoking pot, and oh, by the way, this shirt isn't mine. I don't even smoke weed. I found this in Casey's house, so
Cool.
I'm wearing it now. But yeah, no, there was a very brief time where I started going down the wrong path, and then I met my wife. We started dating, and she was like, "Hey, you got to cut this out, or like I don't know if we can date." And I was like, "Okay." So then I quit smoking weed for like 5 years.
Wow.
And then, because she was like, she had a friend who started smoking weed, and it was just one of those people who was like, like pretty much just like the DARE program would point at and be like, "Hey, this is what happens if you smoke weed."
Yeah, they were going to be addicted
One of the
to
worst,
anything.
one of the worst case scenarios. And she's like, I smoked weed occasionally, and she was like, "Yeah, no, you got to quit, or we're not going to be able to date." So I was like, "Okay." So I quit for like 5 years, and then one day randomly, I was like, "Do you still care if I smoke weed?" And she was like, "No, it's fine. It's like pretty much illegal now." And I was like, "Oh, awesome." And so I tried to pick up where I left off. Like I went to my buddy's house. I bought like fucking an eighth of weed, and I rolled it all into one blunt, and I took like 2 hits, and I was just like on the moon. And I was like, what the fuck happened to weed? I don't know if my brain chemistry changed since between the age of like 17 or whatever, like 20 something. But I was like, this sucks. And I tried to keep going back into it, and it just makes me scared and paranoid.
It happens to so many men.
Yeah, I get so paranoid. I love the idea of weed more than I like smoking it. And I love the smell of it. Like my buddy Jim, Jim Gillespie, he smokes weed. That's like his thing. And every once he'll be like, "Dude, smell this," and he'll open up a bag, and it's just I'm like,
Nostalgia.
I'm like, "Oh my god, it smells so good." And he's like, "Take a hit," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take a hit." And then I'm just like sleeping with my eyes open. Just there was one time, me and Jim were in Buffalo, and I think it was the show you were on with Casey. We were all in the same show, and we were staying in a hotel in Buffalo, and we were out front of the hotel. And Jim had like a dime bag, and he rolled a joint. He's like, "Dude, just take 2 hits." And I was like, "Okay." And I took 2 hits, and I was so fucking. I was like, "This is lace." I was like, he was like, I kept asking him. I was like, first I asked him. I was like, "Dude, do you think I'm a loser?" And he was like, "What? No." And I was like, "Really? You don't think my tattoos are stupid?" And he was like, "That's a different question." He's like, "That's a totally different question." He's like, "You're not a loser. Your tattoos are dumb as fuck." Jim says I look like a middle school desk, which I think is hilarious. But I took 2 hits of that weed, and then we went into the hotel, and I was just zoning out. I didn't even think about it. He turned the lights off, and I was just laying in bed, just kind of like zoning out. And he turned the lights on. He said I was just staring at the ceiling. He was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I didn't even think about what I was doing. He thought I was asleep, and I was just like this. And he was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, dude. Whatever you gave me is fucking bad."
Oh no.
But like when I get high, like anytime I'm on the road and I smoke weed, I feel like a loser, because when you take comedy away from it, like this weekend was so much fun, and like I had a lot of fun at Creek and Cave, But when you take away the comedy part, you're just a guy who's high on your friend's couch. Like, that's what it
Yeah.
is. Like, if you take, like, when you're on the road and you're doing comedy, you're just a loser in a hotel room. The only thing that separates you from that is that you made, a bunch of people laugh for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I'm a successful comedian. But if it isn't for that, you're just a fucking loser in a hotel. That's the only thing separating you from a bum. That's how I feel about it, at least. So I get so in my head when I smoke weed. But then when I drink beer, I'm like, I get loose and I feel like I'm more social.
And it's mature of you to know, like, okay, when I smoke weed, it's not good. I'm gonna do the things.
Jim
that,
still tries to get me to smoke weed. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not fun when I do it. Why? Do you like to see me in pain?
Yeah.
I have like the exact same thing you described. I smoked a ton of weed for like a really long time, and then I stopped. And when I went back to it, it was just like different.
Yeah.
And then how weed used to make me feel is I get that from like 3 beers.
Yeah.
So, like, that relaxes me. I can like sleep better.
Yeah.
Weed does not, like, I used to need to smoke weed to sleep.
Mhm.
It will keep me up all night just bugging.
Yeah.
I smoke too much weed. And I have developed my own theory on this. Because you smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah, I used to buy like it. At the time it was a lot for me. I'd buy like a half an ounce and go through it in like a couple weeks.
All right, so this is my theory, and it's unsubstantiated by any science. But I think like when you smoke a ton of weed, and then you just stop cold turkey, you have like cannabinoid receptors in your brain. I think those things are just like fiending for weed.
Yeah.
And then when you finally do give it to yourself, they just like suck it
Yeah.
up way more or something like that. Because I had the exact same thing where I like smoked weed every day. I would smoke multiple blunts. I would do dabs. Like
Mhm.
it was just like every day from like 17 to like 22. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a tolerance break. Stopped for like 2 months, and then when I went back to it, it was like, weed's scary now.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different thing.
It's also way fucking stronger. Like, I don't know how true it is, but they said, I read some like article where it's like when weed was just like before it was like legal almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the average like dime bag you got or whatever had like 4% THC or something in it, and now it's like literally like 70% or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like dispensaries are fucking nuts, and it's like also like now they spray it with like a bunch of terpenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I used to be like, okay, like I'd find a strain I liked, and it'd be like, okay, this is like I had my medical card for a little bit, and I was like able to kind of microdose it. And I'd be like, okay, I like indica. I like Gorilla Glue. Okay, I'll smoke this from now on. And I'd buy an eighth of that, and it'd be perfect. I'd take a couple hits before bed, it'd be fine. And I'd go back to the dispensary. I'd get the same strain, and I'd be like paranoid as fuck. And I'd be like, and I'd ask the guys, I'd be like, hey, why is this like not consistent? And they'd be like, okay, well, sometimes depending on the terpenes they spray on it when they treat the weed, it can like make you like feel different. And I was like, all right, fuck this. I was like, a Michelob is always a Michelob, you know?
Yeah.
You always know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yes, I don't really smoke anymore, but I will do edibles. And sometimes I feel like those aren't very accurate either.
Edibles, yeah. They don't know what they're fucking doing with that shit. I mean, that shit's whoever's making that shit is high. And this isn't my joke. I think Joe Rogan did it in one of his earlier specials, but like, yeah, it's just I've taken a 5 milligram edible and been like, no way, this is 5 like
that's what mine are.
I watched it was probably not good what I was watching, but I took an edible and I watched an anthrax documentary.
Oh,
and I was
no.
just freaking out the entire fucking time.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I've taken like one time, me and my buddy, we were like, I had a bag of 5 milligram edibles, and I was like, you take one, I'll take one, and I was on the fucking moon, and he was like, I don't feel anything. And then the next time we tried it, we did the same thing, but what we did was I cut my 5 milligram in half, he cut his 5 milligram in half, and we took a half of each others, and we were on the same page. So I think every little thing is a different dose. It's never what it says it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't, it's edibles aren't fucking, if I can't smoke weed, I'll take an edible, and it's even worse for me. I'm just like, when I take an edible, I'm literally just waiting for it to be over.
Yeah, I'm kind of
like,
doing that right now, where I'm like,
why
did I do
I'm
that?
calling my wife. I'm like, are you okay? She's like, I'm at work. I'm like, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
Tell me what you guys think about this idea. We do a podcast called Edible Roulette. We'll have like a 4-person podcast, and everybody eats one cookie, but one of them is 500 milligrams.
500?
I will never do that.
Don't
Fuck
do 500 to anybody.
But
10.
it'd be really funny to
10's fine.
see like three people just eat regular cookies, and then just waiting to see, and like people that ate the regular cookie might like have like what's it called,
Placebo. Yeah.
And like, but then it'll be very apparent. If it's 500 milligrams, then there will be no guessing.
Oh,
You'll
I don't
just
wanna take
you'll
a
just be
500.
dead.
Yeah, I do a 50 max.
I've taken like on purpose at the most 10 milligrams, and it was
Yeah.
insane. I tried to make firecrackers with my friends once, which is where you take weed and you put it on a graham cracker with some peanut butter, and then you put it in the oven, and it's supposed to be like a quick, like, you know, homemade edibles or whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just like, yeah, that's enough. And then we were like literally on his couch just praying, just waiting for it to be over. And we all like, I literally fell asleep with my I had like I was wearing like a cross at the time, and I was just like clutching onto it, just like, please God, I'll never do this again. And of course I did it again, but I was like, please God, just get me through this. And then I was so scared because I bought the weed and I made the edibles, and I was paranoid that my friends were gonna die and I was gonna get charged with homicide.
Oh, no.
Because I poisoned them. And then I woke up the next day and it was quiet as fuck in my friend's apartment because that's where we did it.
Oh my
And
God.
my first thought was like, are they alive? And I went out and I was like, are you guys okay? And they were like, oh, dude. And I was like, okay, thank God they're alive.
Oh my
Everybody,
God.
I feel like a lot of people at least once in their life have that moment where they smoke weed and they're like, this is it. I'm going to be the first one who fucking dies from this.
No, yeah, that's happened to me and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Anytime I do mushrooms, before it like kicks in fully, I always think of being a kid and adults being like, don't ever eat mushrooms in the wild, like they're poisonous. Like I always think I poisoned myself. I always think this batch is gonna poison me. I've only done it like 4 times.
I've had a couple good. I've only done mushrooms maybe like 4 times, and the first 3 times I did it, it was so much fun. Like I did it with my buddy out in DC, and we put on like you know, you can go on YouTube and look up like visuals or whatever, and we were watching that and we were like, wow, this is cool. And then I looked over at his wall and he had all these paintings, and the paintings were breathing, and I was like, dude, this is way better. And he was like, wow. And we were just watching his paintings, like we were both on the same. I was like, you're seeing it? He's like, yeah, dude. And we're just like, it was so much fun. And then I was like, wow, I'm going to do this all the time.
Yeah.
And then I went home. I bought a bag in DC, went home, ate the entire bag. Because I was just like, I think I was also drunk, which didn't help. So I was just like eating it like popcorn. I was watching Forrest Gump. I was like, this is the best thing ever. And then I tried to go to bed because I was getting too high. And I woke up in the middle of the night and like I was like, and my room, it felt like my room was laughing at me, like it was just breathing, but it felt like I literally thought the universe was laughing at me. Like that's what I felt like. I was just like, I fucked up. This is my bad. And I was like, okay, the whole time I'm on mushrooms, I'm like, just learn from this. Like, don't do this again. I haven't really done it since. I microdosed, like, that's not true. It's just a total lie. I took mushrooms. I went to go see Weezer, and I'm not going to not take mushrooms if somebody offers me that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I went to go see Weezer in Philly, and that was fucking awesome. I only took a little bit, and it was just enough for a body high. So I felt like really like chill and like without like all the like paranoia or anything. But it's just anytime I take drugs, I'm so bad at like dosing it. So I either have like fun or the worst time ever.
Same here.
There's no like it's not worth the risk for me. I know what I'm getting myself into when I have 6 beers. It's always consistent. But all that shit, I just can't.
I feel like you have I don't know if you drink as much. When I saw you last, you and Jim could drink so much, and neither one of you seemed buzzed. I was like, they seem completely sober. I was like, how are they doing that?
Yeah, I mean, my tolerance for alcohol over the years has just been insane. Like, for me to get like fucked up, I need to. If I'm just drinking beer, it has to be a shit ton of beer.
Yeah.
I retired from shots a while ago because it just never ends well for me. And that's what leads to me being like, yeah, I'll take a couple hits of a joint and then just have the worst night ever.
Yeah.
Like beer for me or alcohol specifically is a gateway drug or is it like a gateway to weed for me? Because if I'm drunk, I'm more loose and I'm like, yeah, whatever, we'll have a couple joints. Like and then I just get obliterated. But I mean, I'm on antibiotics right now, so my doctor said I can drink occasionally, but like I can't drink like how I used to.
Yeah.
So like I went to the movies the other day and I had 2 Michelobes and I was just like cherishing every sip. I was like, this is the best fucking beer ever. And, but it's not. But it's always good to like, you know, I'm trying to cut back on the booze in general. So
that is good.
Yeah, it's always good to bring your tolerance down every once in a while.
Yeah, and I felt like you didn't change at all when you were drinking.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I
you were
mean,
the same. I would have not known that you had been drinking that much.
I probably just talk more. That's all it is. I talk more. I'm more loose
Yeah.
on stage. I didn't drink at all before I went up this weekend at Creek, just because again I've been cutting back. But I'm sharp. It's like a catch-22, where it's like I don't even know if I'm using that phrase right, but it's like when I drink, I'm more loose on stage, so I'm more like, isn't that crazy? But I'm not as sharp. And then when I
Yeah.
go on stage and I'm not drunk, I'm a little bit more like, like held back, but I'm sharper with my jokes and I'm not, slurring my shit.
Yeah.
The last show I did when I was.
That is a catch-22.
Is it a catch-22? Okay, cool. I used it. Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm glad I used that right. I never use it right. It's very rare that I do. But I went on stage recently. I was obliterated in San Diego. This was before I just got on my antibiotics. But I did mic drop San Diego, and my buddy Tommy, he picked me up from the airport. I landed early as shit, like 11 a.m. And the show wasn't until 7. So I'm like, what are we gonna do? He's like, he's like, oh yeah, dude, no, we'll hang out. We'll get some pitchers of beer. So we just bar hopped until the show, and then I showed up at the club, and I was like fucking hammered. I went in, like everybody was already seated, and I never do this. I went into the audience and I introduced myself to everybody individually. I'm like, hi, I'm the
Whoa, I
headliner.
love
Thank
that.
you guys for coming out. And they were really happy. They're like, oh, dude, yeah, we saw you. We're excited to be here. So it was kind of weird. It worked really well where they were like, we got like I introduced myself and I was like, how's it going? I'm so excited to do the show. Thank you guys for coming out. And I went on stage and I was like, yeah, so I'm married. That's fucking weird. And but like the first 2 minutes, it was like I was like, oh, this isn't gonna go well. But then I built momentum. And I was like, oh, maybe they think I'm playing a drunk character, but I was just hammered, and it worked. It worked really well. And the only reason I know it is because I asked my buddy. I was like, dude, was I fucked up, and did I imagine I did well, or did I? He's like, dude, he's like, you were blitzed, but somehow you had a really good set. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Whoa, that's
But
incredible.
I've gone on stage drunk and I've done really, really bad, and then I've gone on stage drunk and done really, really well. But I've
Yeah.
also gone on stage sober and done really, really bad, and then gone on stage sober and done really, really well. So there's like, there's no rhyme or reason. It's not like I do better when I'm drunk or I do better when I'm sober. But I think any comedian should not get in the habit of getting drunk before you get on stage, because when I first started, I kind of used it as like a crutch, where it's like, okay, I'll have 3 beers to calm my nerves, and then it turns into I'll have 6 beers, and then okay, they want to do shots, and then you go up and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that's like a good thing to kind of be aware of, I guess, because I will like have 1 or 2 drinks sometimes if I'm nervous. I don't always drink before I go up, but like sometimes I'm just introverted. So I think like sometimes I just get like freaked out, but my tolerance is low for alcohol. I won't get drunk from 2, but I might get hungover. It sucks. So it's like I probably just shouldn't do it at all. And I don't do it that often, but one time I did get drunk, and because I had 4 drinks, and it was during a roast battle.
Oh geez.
But it somehow, I think, helped me because the guy was so good that I was going against it kind of like made me a little bit unaware of how much I was just getting like, I don't know, like I was getting basically like, not really, but like he was so funny. Do you know Colton Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so funny. I went against him.
Jeez.
And then I watched it back. The beginning I did so bad, but then the end I did okay. And so we almost tied, but he won, and he deserved to win because he did so good. But that's the most I've ever had to drink before a show, and I learned from that because afterwards I couldn't even remember some of it, and I was like, I shouldn't do that because I'm still like too new, kind of. I think.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to learn.
Yeah, I mean, hangovers can be fucking brutal. That's another reason why I've been cutting back. Is like,
Yeah.
I'm 30 now. Like a hangover for me now from when I was like 22 is totally different.
Really?
Yeah, like I used to work at Best Buy, and I used to have to be in at 5 a.m. on Sundays, every Sunday, because we would do ad set, which is where like they have digital tags now, but like you used to have to like go and replace all the tags for all the prices on everything in the store, and you have to get there at 5 a.m. because the store opens at whenever on Sunday, so you have, like 6 hours until the store opens, so you have to get it all done. And I used to I'd go out and I'd party on Saturdays, and I'd like get fucked up and go to bed at 2 and then wake up at 4.
Whoa.
And like There was a couple times I was definitely still drunk. I'd show up to work, just be in the best mood ever. Be like, "Hey, Tommy, how's it going?" My eyes are bloodshot red. They're like, one time, I think Halloween fell on like a Saturday one time, and I was at a Halloween party, and I was Popeye, so I had like anchors like drawn on my arms and shit, and I showed up at Sunday, and I was still fucked up from Halloween. And my boss knew, but I was, he didn't give a fuck. He's just like, he just looked at me and he said, "Oh, Robert," and I was like, "No, dude, it's whatever, it's fine." He pointed at my arms. He's like, "Those better not be permanent." I was like, "Dude, it's just I'm Popeye." And he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Go do your job." I was like, "Yeah, okay."
I love that. I used to like get really drunk when I was younger. I had a job as I worked in a retail store, and I think I was like 18. I partied all night, was up all night, probably still drunk, went to work. And same thing, like my eyes were like bloodshot. My friend was working that day, so I had her just like stay in the front, and I took a nap in the back in like a pile of clothes.
Yeah.
Like that we were going to sell eventually. I just was like sleeping in a tub.
I used to one time I was so fucking hungover at the last job I had. It was a slow day. I worked in IT and I was kind of on call at the time. And it was in the building. I was working in the building that was about to be sold. So there really wasn't a lot of people in it. It was like, every once in a while you get a call, but I was so hungover, and I found it. I had access to an IT storage closet that only I had the keys to, and I slept on the floor in the closet with my phone. I was like, I'll put my phone on.
Oh my God.
And like if anybody calls me, it'll wake me up, and then I'll just rest my eyes for like a minute, and then I woke up like 4 hours later, and I was like, oh fuck, and I checked my phone, and there was just like, I only had like one text, and it was like, hey, like we're grabbing lunch if you want to meet up, and I was like, oh sorry, I didn't see your text. Just like I was like, yeah, I was asleep in the fucking storage closet. My bad. It was that was one of the perks of the job.
That's nice you didn't get caught.
Oh yeah,
That's
well
amazing.
I was the only one who had the keys to the closet, so that was nice. But yeah, I tried not to make a habit out of that.
I'm gonna start asking this to everybody on my podcast. Has there ever been somebody in your life that was super funny and not a comedian, or who's the funniest person you've ever met that was not a comedian in your life?
That was not a comedian in my life. Funniest person I ever met, honestly, probably one of my best buddies, Tyler.
Okay.
He's just like, he's so quick with like, you'll say something, he'll make a joke out of it or whatever. And he was the guy I told you, we did stand up. He was my first ever open mic. We went together. We're like, yeah, we're going to do, we'll try this. And he just doesn't have the itch for it. Like I've been trying to get him to go on stage, and like him in conversation is just totally different than him on stage. Like he's the funniest guy in conversation. Okay. But he goes on stage and he just like locks up and he's kind of nervous.
Yeah.
And he also works he works in the kitchen at a bar, so he's always working night shift, so it's like really hard for him to get out and do mics and stuff.
Okay.
But every once in a while I'll drag him out to a mic, and I'm like, dude, just write 5 minutes, get up there. And he does one-liners, like that's his like thing. And they're funny. I'm like, dude, so you like, I'm like, what you're but he's like nervous, so it's kind of like, he's not at his max potential. But I'm telling him, I'm like, just get used to being on stage, and if you want to do one-liners now, that's fine. I feel like that's how like a lot of comedians start out. But once you figure out like how to tell jokes about what you really give a fuck about, then that's like, you're way funnier. Because when we're in conversation, he'll joke about the dumbest shit. Yeah. But it's stuff he cares about, and it's so funny. But yeah, he doesn't have like the itch for it, I guess.
That's interesting. That does happen, where like you'll meet somebody that's hilarious, but they don't want to do it. Yeah. Like they just want to be funny, or they can't help it. They're just funny.
I think he's just very content with his life as well. Like he's paying his bills. He likes to just go home and chill out. He's a big movie guy, so he just like, he'll watch a bunch of movies and then text me and be like, this was really good, you have to watch it. And then yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's one of the funniest guys I know.
When did you meet him?
We have been friends since high school, so he's one of my high school buddies.
Nice.
But also Jim Gillespie, one of his close friends, John Prophet, is one of the fucking funniest dudes I have ever met, and he was doing stand up consistently for a while. Like he was, we would go to open mics together, and he like never bombed. Like he would always be funny. He would always say the funniest shit. If somebody was heckling or like talking in the crowd, he would just isolate on them and just make them feel dumb as shit. One time he was wearing a hat, and he was like, I hope you get fingered by a guy who looks like this later. And he put his hat down, and just it's just I can't replicate it. But he was doing stand up for a while, and he was really, really funny. And then for whatever reason, he just wasn't getting booked on a lot of shit, so he stopped doing it.
Aw.
And then, he's one of those comedians like who quit, and you're like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like an actual comic who was doing stand up for a while. And I think him and Jim, they had their own podcast for a while, and then he just stopped doing that altogether as well.
Okay.
But he's a really fucking funny guy, and I wish he would start doing stand up again. I drag him out to mics and stuff, but I keep telling him, like, a lot of my friends, I'm like, because you go on the road, and it's like, dude, if you could just get 10 minutes together, you could host. Like, that's all you. Like, I would love to start bringing my friends with me. Like, I bring Jim, and that's awesome, but I want to, like, bring, like, other people who, like...
Yeah.
Because a lot of it, I feel like when you're on the road, it's just the hang. It's like I want somebody who's funny, but also I can tolerate being in a car with me for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I'd take somebody who's like kind of funny and fun to be with for 6 hours than somebody who's hilarious and just sucks to be around.
Yeah. You don't want to be around somebody who's negative.
Yeah.
Or like has a bad vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I get
and
that.
there's some people who are hilarious on stage, but they just, they're just not like the hang is weird or whatever. And it's like, well, I don't know if I want to be in a car with them for 6 hours on the way to some gig.
Sometimes you ever feel like you meet or you watch somebody on stage and you have a completely different idea of what their personality is going to be like.
Yeah.
After, and then you're like, whoa, like there was a huge switch that like happened from stage to in person.
Yeah, I think
that can be shocking sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of comedians are totally different on stage than how they are off stage, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, with Casey, he's crazy on stage and he does all this running around, and then off stage he's still like the most hilarious guy. Like he'll just like say, but he can make like fucking gibberish funny. Like truly just hilarious. Say a sentence that means nothing, and I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah. No, yeah, you guys are you're very funny on stage and off stage, and I feel like all your vibes are the same still.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. I'm still trying to like figure out my style on stage, so I don't know.
How long have you been doing it for?
Like 10 months.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing for like the first year.
Yeah, I feel like that still. I'm definitely.
It just
like,
takes time.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It takes time. You have to be somewhat of a lunatic to stick with it for so long, because when you first start doing it, at least with me, I just wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
Like even a little bit, and then maybe like 6 months in, I started having an okay 5 minutes, and I started getting laughs, and I was like, oh, this is what this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, I feel like the longer you do it, the better you get at it, and you figure it out.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm kind of deadpan right now. Like,
that's okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of deadpan comics who are really funny.
Yeah.
I think I was deadpan for a while when I started, but it wasn't because I was trying to be. I was just really nervous.
Yeah, me.
So it's just like you're just on stage and you're like trying to remember your jokes, and you're not even thinking about like emotions, and you're just going through them. And if you can like unintentionally be a funny deadpan comic and make that your thing, it's good. But I kind of grew out of it because I like laughing at my own stuff and joking around on stage and all that stuff.
Yeah, I want to be more myself on stage eventually, but right now I think it's like I'm just kind of similar to what you said, like trying to remember my lines, and I'm nervous.
It's all about just getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Once you get comfortable, then comfortable. Once you get comfortable and you figure out how to be funny, then it's just like, okay, I can see where this is going.
For sure. Makes sense. Thank you. I did want to ask you too, like, what do you think the Austin scene's like?
It's great.
You like it?
I mean, the cool thing about Austin is like, so in Philly, we only really have we got like 3 clubs. We have Punchline, Helium, and Next in Line. Those are like the 3 clubs we have.
Okay.
And like, it's not like there's really not a lot of showcases. It's like, a headliner's coming through, or like Punchline has like their all pro showcase and stuff, and they'll put comics in the scene up. But with Austin, I'm like, oh, what are you doing tonight? And somebody's like, oh, so I'm here, and then I'm here, and then I'm there, and then I'm here. And I'm like, oh, shit, you're doing like 5 spots tonight? I can see why people move here. There's so much opportunity for stage time, and it feels like everybody's really nice. And like, for me being an out-of-towner, people are like, oh, I'll text this guy, he'll throw you up. So it's like people are very kind here and very nice. And even the comics who I've seen who moved from Philly and come here, like, it seems like Austin has accepted them and just kind of, made them their own. And I feel like, it just feels like there's so much stage time and opportunity out here.
Yeah.
And Philly is starting to get that way because we only have 3 clubs. There are so many comics who have a bar show, who have a brewery show, who are just like booking their own shit because you have to make your own stage time. If you
Smart.
don't, if there's not a lot of clubs, then you have to find a brewery, you have to do whatever. Like so because of that, because we don't have a lot, people are making their own scene.
That's cool.
But Austin seems to already have so much. You don't really need to do a lot of that here, it feels like.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've never been to Philly before, but I've heard it's a
Great.
fun
It's a great
comedy
city.
scene.
Austin, I love Austin too. But yeah, Philly's awesome. I mean, I live in the suburbs, so I'm like fake Philly, but I like it. I just when I need to go into the city, I just drive. It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard great things about Philly from people that have been there too, like even that aren't comics.
Yeah,
I want to go sometime. Just
it's
like,
a great
see what
city.
It's like. Yeah.
Some of the best food you'll ever fucking eat. Our
I've heard that.
cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Our cheesesteaks, even like outside of the city, just in the area. Like there's a place, down the street from my house. That people are like, "What's your favorite cheesesteak in Philly?" I'm like, "Well, first you have to leave Philly." But there's just so much good food out there.
That's awesome. So you mentioned, and I think maybe it was one of your jokes or maybe crowd work that you liked gambling.
I love gambling.
So
Me
what-
and Phil were talking about it the whole way here.
You were, yeah, I like gambling too now. Like I'm getting into gambling. But what are you
Everybody should get into it.
Yeah, like what's your favorite?
I love Huff and Puff. I have a Huff and Puff tattoo. I was showing it to Phil. It's a little pig.
What's that? Is that a slot machine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the if you and Phil went to Vegas, I'm sure you saw, but it's the one with all the pigs, and you try to get the hard hats.
Okay, I don't think I've played that one before.
Oh.
I'll have to try it.
Well, yeah, I have a Huff and Puff tattoo,
Nice.
but yeah, I love gambling. I have a budget every month, and I don't go past it.
Nice.
But some months you're up, some months you're down. My thing with gambling, this is a very degenerate thought, but it's like if you can afford to lose $300, you can potentially win thousands.
True.
So it's like, why not take the risk? If you can afford to lose it, it's worth the risk, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
but that's how people go into like hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. But
Yeah.
as long as you have any type of willpower, like in moderation, I think it's fun. It's just like any other hobby. Like
For sure.
like for me, it's like I'm trying to cut back on the booze. I'm trying to stop going out to bars and racking up $100 bar tabs. So instead of that, I'll go to a casino and I'll have like a Red Bull and I'll just fucking play slots or whatever. And that's for me, that's like, okay, I would have spent this on booze. So it's like, let me just gamble instead.
You could also be getting free booze the whole time.
You can.
Gambling.
Yeah.
That's true.
In Philly, there's I think Rivers or one of the casinos. They have the machines at the bar, and as long as you're playing, it doesn't matter. Like 25 cent, they have like 25 cent hit in blackjack. You get free Miller Lite drafts the entire time.
Whoa.
So it's like, and they usually cost like $5. So I'm like, okay, well, if I put $50 into here, and I have like 5 beers, it's like I only spent like 25. You do degenerate math in your head.
And you could also win.
And you could also
Like,
win,
there's
right.
No chance of
Yeah.
winning if you're just drinking beers.
Yeah.
True.
Dude, like good casinos in Vegas, they have like the video poker machines in the bar and stuff, and you can get anything.
Yeah.
At the Venetian, they were giving me bottled Modelo's for free the whole time I was there, just playing like dollar video poker hands, which is like an extremely low house edge.
Yeah.
If you're playing like Deuces Wild video poker. So you just like, if you like want a drink, you just go do that, and then I won $100 too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was one time though, I kept going up to the bar when I wanted a beer, and I'd put the ticket in, and the guy would give me the beer, and then I would take the ticket out, and I kept doing that over and over. And he was like, and he caught on. He was like, I was like, can I get another beer? He's like, you got to press the button a couple times. So I was like, boop 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 boop, like $1.50, and I was like, now? He's like, here you go. He's like, he's like, I need the cameras. I need to see you at least
Oh,
pretend.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, so.
Makes sense.
But yeah, a couple times I was like, I'd put the ticket in and be like, can I have a beer? Pretend to be like, do, and then I'd fucking leave and go play blackjack or whatever.
So what are your favorite table games?
I love playing blackjack. I was
Yeah.
talking to Phil about this. My strategy with blackjack is I'll start with like $50. I'll do
Okay.
one $50 hand, and then I'll try to win 2 hands in a row, and that's all I need. So I'll do like $50, and then if I win, and now I have 100, then I'll put the 100, and if I win that, now I have 200.
Yep.
So it's like if I can turn $50 into 200, then I'm like, okay, I can light this money on fire, and then I'll go play roulette or slots or something
Yeah.
like that. Because every time I've tried to sit at a blackjack table for a while, I feel like the longer, unless you know how to count cards, or like you've memorized basic strategy down to a T, it's really hard to like stay at a blackjack table and consistently make money.
It's true.
At least for me, and you kind of have to have a big like. I know how to. I'm not saying I know how to count cards, but there's a very basic like. If a bunch of low cards come out and they keep coming out, then you know that somewhere in that deck there's aces and kings and queens about to come out, so you can kind of eyeball it.
Yeah.
You'd ever do that, Phil?
Yeah. Just like, especially if like you are rolling up to a table and it's already like 5 people and they like all just have like a bunch of like splits.
Yeah.
They all bust and stuff. Then like one dude busts out. Sit at that table. Like that's like my strategy.
Yeah.
Just like look for a table where people are getting wrecked.
Yeah.
It's about to turn.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's caveman level card counting.
Yeah.
It's just like,
That's what
okay.
when I sit at a blackjack table, I'm usually too hammered to actually count cards. But it's like you just know, like, I mean, the values is like +1, -1, whatever, 0. But you can kind of like, you don't have to know the exact value. You can just kind of be like, okay, this is, I can tell a bunch of high cards are about to come out. So I've definitely like done like $25 lost, $25 lost, and then been like $100. And then you can, even the pit boss will like look over and be like, but like you're not winning enough for them to give a fuck. But I've seen videos online of people getting pushed off a table for winning like $6,000. So I mean,
Wow.
unless you're really
I forgot that I even did this. Last time I was in Vegas, I was playing a version of blackjack, what I was talking about, Double Down Madness. And I was doing $25 bets, but I had $200 in chips. And I was just playing with my chips, and I set them down after I had gotten a card already. I set them down on my bet. So I was like, and the dealer didn't even notice my initial bet. So I was all in. Like I just was like being dumb playing with chips, and then when I set them down, it was on my bet. And I was in like an unfavorable position. She was like showing a 10, and like I was like had a bus card or something. And I tried to explain to her, I was like, no, my initial bet was just 1 unit, but I ended up winning.
Oh.
And then I was like, okay, never mind.
Never
I don't
mind,
say
yeah.
anything. If they look at the cameras, they'll know I added on to my bet, which is a big no-no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I also did it against, like, it wasn't an advantage. I did
Yeah.
it like, against myself.
I had one time at blackjack where I won, right? And you know how you have your bet there and then they pay you on the side? Well, I won, and then they paid me on the side, and I put that money right there. And the guy was like talking to somebody else, and he forgot he already paid me, so he put it again. And I was like, okay, I'll take that twice.
Nice.
I've been to a casino a couple times. I was telling Phil where dealers have fucked up in my advantage.
Nice.
Like I was at a roulette table and I was playing $5 chips, and I hit really big on a number, and the lady paid me out as if I was playing $10 chips.
Wow.
So what was supposed to be a $300 payout turned into like almost $700, and I just took the chips.
Whoa.
I was like, I was with Casey, and he like leaned in my ear. He's like, dude, I think I was like, thank you, and I like ran to the fucking cashier and like cashed it out, and then fucking sprinted out the casino and just waited till they were done, because I was like, I'm not gonna.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. If they could not hire me at a casino because I'm so bad at math.
Oh, I see.
I would be the worst.
When I see the
if
roulette
hired me.
dealers and they're like, the thing hits and they're like, tack, 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 here you go. I'm like, how'd you do that? That's amazing. Like they know all the shit and they know all the lingo and all that. It's like, but yeah. And then blackjack dealers who are like, pop, 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 pop. Okay, you lost. I'm like, wait. I didn't even get the. I'm like, are you sure? They're like, dumbass. I've been doing this for 4 years. You're a drunk guy. Like, I know what I'm doing.
The craziest thing about that is those dealers, like, they do shifts. I think they can only deal for like 45 minutes or an hour, maybe 30 minutes. But they deal all the games. So, like, they'll be, like, dealing out blackjack, and then that person has to go deal Pai Gow.
Yeah.
And, like, they know every game, instant math, 5 full table, just payouts, everything. Like, yeah, I agree with her. I could not be a dealer.
Yeah.
Like, my brain isn't that quick with math. But, I mean, well, I guess once it's the same math over and over again, you can do it. But I'm always impressed by fucking dealers.
I think I would also like be so bad where I would want to give people more than they actually won.
Yeah.
Because like when I used to work at an ice cream shop when I was younger, a lot younger, and I would just randomly give away free ice cream to like people I didn't even know. I would just like, or I would like way overfill it.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know.
Well, think about the
The
interesting.
bad worker.
There are a lot of like there are a lot of roulette dealers. Like I had one when I was driving for Uber. I had a lady in my back seat, and I was taking her to like one of the online gambling places in Philly where the dealers go and they record. And I could tell she was all dressed for work. And we were talking, and I was like, "What's your favorite, game to deal?" And she's like, "I love roulette. It's like, I love spinning the wheel and everything." And I asked her, I was like, "So is that shit rigged?" And she was like, "No, it's not rigged. It's highly legal for it to be rigged." And I was like, "There's no magnets?" And she was like, "No, there's no magnets." And I was like, "Well, can you manipulate your spin to try to make a ball land where one of the numbers is?" And she said, "Yes." And she was like, I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "I'm pretty good at it." She's like, "If somebody puts a bet, I can at least get within a few numbers of it." So,
What?
So my sister, one time we were on a cruise ship, and this roulette dealer, he was such a nice guy, right? And my sister put $50 on 000, right? She put $50. She was hammered. She didn't know she doesn't gamble, so she didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, he gambles, and he always plays 000. So she's like, "Let's play that." I'm like, "You're gonna put $50 on two numbers?" And she was like, "Yeah, why not?" And then the dealer was like, "Okay." And then before he spun the ball, and she goes, "Wait, I want to do a dealer bet too." She's like, "Can we put a $25 dealer bet on 000?" And he was like, $25 for me? And she was like, "Yeah, why not?" He goes, "Okay," spins the wheel, it hits on 0. So my sister made whatever it was a few $100s, and
Damn.
the dealer made money too. And we were like high-fiving each other and shit. And the pit boss came over, and he was like, "Good hit." And I was like, "You're not mad at him, are you?" And he was like, "No, why would we?" He's like, "They probably make so much fucking money, like off the slots, and the guys who are sitting at the blackjack table for hours losing money." But it's fun to see, like, like the guys get excited too, like when you do dealer bets. But they can, if you sit at a roulette table long enough, you can kind of start to see, like, okay, if like you think, like, when you see 19 hit twice in a row, you're like, what are the odds it hits a third time? But it's all muscle memory. So either play that number or play the numbers around it.
Okay.
Because like the ball might land like it's almost like a pie chart. Like they spin the thing, and it's like if they're hitting in one spot, play the numbers around that. Like there's people say there's no strategy to roulette, but I truly do think muscle memory, and that's why they like anytime I've been up at a roulette table, they always swap the dealer because they're hitting all my numbers, and they want to swap somebody else who has a different spin and a different speed.
Whoa.
So yeah,
that's crazy.
What are your numbers, and do they have meaning?
9/16 is my parents' anniversary.
Nice.
10/21 is me and my wife's anniversary. 22/23 are my two lucky numbers, and they're right next to each other. So I always put like a $10 stack on that, my first spin. 000, it's just my brother plays it, and anytime somebody's doing like high outside bets, I always play it because it's just I feel like the house is trying to fuck them.
Yeah.
I always play 000 because like when you don't,
yeah,
it's,
of
like,
course.
Like as you want
Either like a dollar chip or something on there. 36 is Jim's lucky number, and I've seen him hit that so many times. Just like he'll be down to his last $5 in a casino, and he'll put it and fucking win.
Wow.
So I play that for him now. I'll just do that's like I'll put like one chip there for him.
Nice.
And then I have I play 3. I play 9 and 3, but 9 is also my parents' anniversary. But 9 and 3 was my dad's favorite hand in poker because he said he swore anytime he got 9 and 3, it would always show up on the flop.
Wow.
And when I play poker, I'm like, I'll get a 9 and 3, and I swear I start seeing it like.
Oh my gosh!
But that was
I love that.
I got it tattooed on me because that was his favorite poker hand.
Wow.
But so I play 3 because that's 9 is also part of the anniversary, but 3 is the other. So like the numbers, some of the numbers kind of intersect with different meanings. I play 12/30 because that's me and my wife's dating anniversary.
Nice.
And I was playing.
Essentially, you play every number. It sounds like.
I probably play 30% of the board.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, yeah. But I'll do like $5 chip, $10 chip, $5 chip. I play big and fast, so I'm either at the table. I either win a lot very quickly or lose a lot very quickly. Yeah.
I want to go gambling altogether.
Me too.
Yeah.
I fucking Googled casinos near me when I got here, and I was pissed. There's none.
I know there are none
Yeah,
here.
it sucks.
It's like Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best though, because every time
Yeah.
I go on the road, I'm like, oh, I made a little bit of money this week. Let me go fucking. Then I lose like $300.
Do you do online gambling ever? Or?
No. So anytime I want to bet on sports, I have to text my friend to place a bet for me.
Yeah.
I cannot, for whatever reason, I I think I might be like shadow banned from like sports apps or whatever. I don't know what I did. I can remember one thing why I think I might have been banned. So one of Jake Paul's first fights against Ben Askren, I was like, Jake Paul, he's a YouTuber. He's going to lose. This is an easy win. I put like a few $100 on Ben Askren to win. And it was the most bullshit fucking fight ever, obviously, and Jake Paul won. And I sent them, I was hammered, and I sent them an email like, this is rigged. How could you go? Like, this sports app, I sent them an email like, this is rigged. This is bullshit. I want my money back. Like, fuck you. And then now I can't place bets on. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, so I have to text my buddy anytime I want to bet on the Eagles. I'm like, can you do this parlay for me?
Eagles came back and won today.
Oh, fuck yeah. Go Birds.
What about like online casinos?
No, because it's just a bad habit. If I can play roulette on my computer, it's gonna be a bad time. It's like I have to get in my car and I have to drive, and like I have to. If my wife ever caught me at my computer, just like, come on, she'd be so fucking pissed.
Have you ever played or have you ever seen Mines?
Mines, yeah. Me and Phil were talking about steak.
Yeah.
I watch those YouTubers too, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, guys, today we have $10,000, and we're gonna be doing a $1 bet versus $1,000 bet, and we're gonna be martingaling and like all this shit, and I'm like. I get so wrapped up in that, but I don't trust those like crypto gambling sites because I think they're kind of shady. I mean, they say they're regulated, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do like Mines. One time I won like $600, but then I lost it all.
Mines, I never played any of them, but I've seen people play Mines. That seems really fun. I like the one where the rocket goes off and it's got the multiplier. I've seen people play that. Yeah. I've just never like. I have a small nest egg in crypto, but I don't use it to gamble.
That's smart.
Yeah. Don't start.
Yeah.
Basically, like we had our little run where we were streaming on stake and stuff, and even if we were winning, we were like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like it just does not feel good. It's like this is a problem.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't commit ourselves to having to put out gambling content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can make a living out of it, good. You know, there's a lot of YouTubers who they make more money off the revenue than they do. They're like, all right, I got $5,000. We're gonna be doing Huff and Puff and all this shit, and then it's like they're making $30,000 off that video, so it doesn't matter. So then if they win, then they're even more excited because they're making even more money. But if they lose, they're like, well, we lost $3,000. What are you gonna do? And I'm like,
yeah.
I see them hit a bonus for like, oh man, it was only $400. And I'm like, dude, if I had $400 extra right now, it would change my month.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Boss Man Jack?
No, is he a gambler or whatever?
Yeah, like online gambler.
Oh, no, I watch Bretsky, Vegas Matt, Bluff, Robbie, those guys.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like gambling, there's a lot of like gambling influencers, like there's a wave of it right now. Like it's becoming a thing. Yeah. It wasn't a thing like 2 or 3 years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I
didn't know.
I think if I ever get a decent bankroll, like if comedy does really well, I would love to start doing just like gambling like videos for fun on the side.
Yeah.
I have an OnlyFans because I did the LMAOF comedy special, and like part of the contract is you have to make an OnlyFans and you have to like post content. So I've been posting like stand-up clips and shit on that, and I don't want to brag. I've made $30 so far.
Yeah. And
I wanted to make a series where it's like, okay, guys, today I'm gambling all the money I made on OnlyFans. It's like $30. I'm like,
funny.
okay, just lose it. Be like, all right, well, subscribe. And I think it'd be fun to do that and be like,
smart.
Just like see if people want to subscribe to see you gamble more.
I love
that. It's just free money.
Yeah.
You should absolutely do that.
Yeah.
It's a really good idea.
There's a lot of like online gamblers that like they'll go broke on the stream, and then that's when the donations start pouring in.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you gotta. And I think OnlyFans is probably a good place to do that.
Yeah.
Because like your Instagram is for your stand-up. You don't want to start a new Instagram page that's like Rob Stant gambling.
Yeah.
I think it's a good sort of secluded space to have a different type of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
It's a good idea. You should definitely do that. It's been really fun having you on and kind of getting to hear more about like your process and like what comedy's been like for you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. And do you have anything you want to plug? This will come out in like a week.
Follow me on Instagram at Rob Stant Comedy. Join my email list and my link tree if you want me to perform in a city near you. That's the only thing I really book around. And then listen to my podcast, Two in the Stink, with me and Jim Gillespie. That's my and my Instagram, and my podcast. That's pretty much all I need to plug.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rob.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Rob Stant.
Woo!
The big natural